My name is Karen Blakely. I'm going to be your host this morning. And as we all filter in and find a nice place, I'm just going to invite everyone to stand as we do our community song with Billy Benson here. Looks like you've got one thing to get out here. Okay, we're going to give him just a moment here to get ready, and then we'll get our song underway.
Flies. All right. How does this song go? God. I know, I'm just thinking. I know. Hello, I'm still asleep. I don't have the chords to this. God is my. God is my source, love is my power. It's coming back to me. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me
All right. Yeah, we're all waking up now. That's an awesome way to start the day. Yeah. Well, good morning again, and welcome to the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. If you are part of our online community or you are here in the room, I just want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And I am honored to be your host this morning. It is my pleasure to remind us of who we are and what we believe. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the diversity of creation. We aspire to live authentic spiritual lives through the practical application of the teachings of Science of Mind. And there are many things that we believe in Science of Mind, and we've boiled them down to 4 main points for you today. First is that all thought is creative and influential. If you're thinking it, you're putting it into that creative process. Next is that there is only God, that God is the outpicturing of everything that we see, we hear, we smell, we touch, we taste, that it is all God in form at some level. And you'll say, Karen, what about things that don't look like God? That is the evil that is just starting and stopping in our own minds. And third is that everything in our experience is either an expression of love or a call for love. Ooh, and that call for love, that can be when things don't look all that great on the surface. But we know that love is the answer. And last but not least, number 4 is that we are whole, perfect, and complete. That means that right where you are, just how you are absolutely perfect in that place where we are connected to the divine. And at this time, I'd like to invite Deborah up to the platform to light our inclusion candle. We light this candle to celebrate the unity of all peoples, all faiths, all beings, and all life, honoring the infinity of oneness as all creation, seen and unseen. This candle reminds us of the light of spirit within each one of us. Thank you, Deborah. So what's alive in you today? Please go ahead and call that out, and then I will repeat it so that all can hear. My allergies. Your allergies. So a call for health. Purpose. Joy. Peace. Meaning. Attitude of gratitude and community. Oh, beautiful. Authenticity. Lots of beautiful qualities that we're calling forth today. And if there is something that is on your heart or weighing on your mind, I want to remind you that you are not alone. We are a praying community, and we would love to support you as well as celebrate with you. Prayer is available after service today with Rev Lanny. And then in the seat backs, you'll also find lavender prayer requests, these guys. You can fill that sheet out and place it in the wooden box located to the left of the door in the entryway. And for our virtual community, please visit our website after service at sierracenter.org. You can click on spiritual support at the top toolbar, then prayer, and scroll down to the bottom of that page and click the submit a prayer button. And there you can fill out one of those prayer request cards, and one of our practitioners will reach out to you. All right, well, now that I've told you a little bit about us, I wanted to see if we have any first-time or second-time guests in the room today. So if you're here for the first or second time and you feel comfortable, would you just raise your hand so we can applaud you? Oh, perfect. Yay. I love to see all of our new guests. Well, just allow me to extend a warm welcome both for those that are new that are here in the room, as well as those who are joining us online. If you'd like more information, please be sure to sign our mailing list, or online you can choose the email to email the office, and we can get you added to that list. All right, and now I would like to invite Carol Untasier up to the platform to read our community announcements.
Good morning. I'm Carol Untasier, one of the Board of Trustees for this lovely Center of Spiritual Living. So this morning there's quite a few, so bear with me. We are at our new start time, 10:30, so thank you for being here. We are still accepting membership renewal cards, so please see Chana, our back in the back area here, if you would like to submit one today. Today after service, we have a special guest, Dr. John Mayfield, and I'm going to ask him to come up and speak momentarily. Come on up, please. Thank you. Share a little bit about what you're going to be doing this afternoon. Thank you.
I'm a chiropractor here in Grass Valley. I've been practicing for 52 years. Okay, there you go. I'm a chiropractor here in town. I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I've been practicing for 52 years, and the last 50 years here in this area. And what I want to talk about is consciousness. And most of what I believe is summed up in your beliefs. I just see it maybe a little bit differently. because there's so many ways to see any kind of reality. So it'll be nice to talk to you about my concept of consciousness.
Thank you so much. So make sure you can stay if you're able to. That would be great. Following Dr. Mayfield, Reverend Mitch will facilitate a healing circle today. I think that's the first one that we're having moving forward, so I look forward to those. We are now offering a weekly yoga drop-in class, Thursdays from noon to 1. Please bring your own yoga mat and $10 suggested donation. Next, we have Intro to Hand Drumming, followed by a drum circle on Friday, January 17th from 5:45 to 7:15. So there's a sign up in the foyer, and this intro class is meant to be a precursor to regularly, held drum classes and circles coming in February. So think about that. Number 7, Sacred Dance Circle. We've had that going on and on gracefully. January 20th from 10:30 to noon at Sierra Center here. Our address is 119 Florence Avenue. Please arrive at 10:15 to get situated. RSVPs are appreciated. Please see the flyer in the foyer to get more information. And next we have a free Tai Chi and Qigong class will be offered Tuesday, January 21st from 10 to 11 a.m. And we have a special guest coming to explain that. Please, Maricela, would you please come up? Thank you.
Happy rising, everyone. Yes, I've been teaching these classes for over 15 years, maybe. But for the last 2 years, I stopped because we were traveling a lot. But it's so beautiful to bring the movement with the graceful movement of the body with using its natural resources to restore maybe the stuck chi or energy that it creates not only physical pain, but also emotional, mental, and of course, sometimes a spiritual disconnection. So we will do a free presentation on the 21st, which will be really like a regular class. So not only you will be perhaps getting familiar or for the first time experiencing these ancient sets of exercises, but you will also have the feeling of how I teach. I think that is very important. We have to create rapport and trust. With that, everything flows the way we want. So come on the 21st. It will be on a Tuesday. I think is from 10 to 11, right? Thank you. And then on February 4th, we will start with the regular classes every Tuesday from 10 to 11. It will be here. You don't need any mats or any yoga mats. We do everything standing. But of course, if there is anybody who would like to still feel the benefits of the exercises, come and do the exercises on the chair. There is also a Tai Chi that I want to start teaching. It will be part of our class. And I will talk more about that on the free class, but just keep in mind that the basis for these movements and classes are for all our components, mind, spirit, and soul to work in unison with what is really there, all the potential that we want to activate in our body. So it's not about being frustrated because you don't remember the steps of the Tai Chi form. It's about being present in your body and moving with your conscious breath. So I hope you can join me on the 21st. And there are flyers over there. Thank you.
Thank you, Maricela. All right, next we have one of my, I have experienced vision board workshop manifestation, so I'm just putting a little bite out there and we have our wonderful Reverend Mitch and Karen facilitating that on January 25th from 10 a.m. to noon. So I can't say enough about that. It moves your life to change your dreams into your life experiences. So please come to that. Mark your calendars for Sunday, January 26th for our annual membership meeting and the new Board of Trustees member selection, and more details will be following. Next we have Dia de la Candelaria. Monday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. This is the last of the 3 Mexican religious celebrations through our metaphysical lens, and homemade tamales will be included, so you don't want to miss that. Next, we need a plant doctor to diagnose and hopefully revive our porch plant. If that is you, please see Reverend Mitch after the service. And lastly, info and sign-up sheets for all our classes are over on the counter in the foyer. And please, you can find all the Zoom links, details about all our announcements, and weekly e-newsletter on their website, sierracenter.org. Thank you.
All right, now we'll have another song by Billy Benson.
Ben, sing. Everybody makes that mistake. It's all good, all right? All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is love, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is one, holy, holy. Oh God, holy, holy. Oh God, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is God, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Lanny Howard. I'm the Minister Emerita here at the Sierra Center. And this is the start of our inward shift. So I'm going to read a sacred reading, what I consider a sacred reading. We get to decide what is sacred. And it's all sacred, actually. This is from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo, who is a poet and philosopher. And it starts out with a quote by Susan McHenry. Everyone's bald underneath their hair. So true. We waste so much energy trying to cover up who we are, when beneath every attitude is the want to be loved, and beneath every anger is a wound to be healed, and beneath every sadness is the fear that there will not be enough time. When we hesitate in being direct, we unknowingly slip something on, some added layer of protection that keeps us from feeling the world. And often, this thin covering is the beginning of a loneliness, which, if not put down, diminishes our chances for joy. It's like wearing gloves every time we touch something and then forgetting we chose to put them on. We complain that nothing feels quite real. In this way, our challenge each day is not to get dressed to face the world, but to unglove ourselves so that the doorknob feels cold and the car handle feels wet and the kiss goodbye feels like the lips of another being, soft and unrepeatable. And it has a little practice. As you breathe, let each breath undress your being of attitude, of mood, of history. As you breathe, feel your skin beneath your clothes. As you breathe, feel your being just beneath your skin. So our community value today is authenticity. And that's what that whole reading was about, is being who we truly are. And that means that what we think, what we say, and what we do is all in alignment. What we think, what we say, and what we do. We do not have unalignment, discord between all of those things, because we are being authentically ourselves. We are the only ones created uniquely in this moment to be exactly who we are, to fit into this vibrant, vital tapestry that we call life. And if we don't be who we are, no one else will be, and something will be missing from this tapestry. There will be a broken thread. So we need to be who we are. We need to be authentically who we are. So that is our value for today. And now I am going to ring the bell, and I will ring the bell, and then we will do an Om. And you can see what that means. And so we will do an Om. I will ring the bell 3 times. After each bell, we will do an Om. And then we will go into a 5-minute meditation. And I will bring us out with an affirmative prayer. one life force that created everything out of itself and is present in all of its creation. That presence of love and joy, of harmony, of wholeness, of balance and order, of beauty and truth, of all the good imaginable and more, because it is infinite. And yet it is immanent, it is present, right here, right now, in all of its creation, seeing itself, knowing itself, and experiencing itself through everything here. And so I know that I am one with this essence, with this energy, with this life force. And what I know is true for me, I know is true for everyone here in the room, everyone out there in the world, and everyone, especially in Los Angeles this morning, that we hold the realization of oneness with all in the world. And that we know that our thoughts are creative, and especially those thoughts that we imbue with emotion. And so we amplify the realization of love, and we amplify the realization of peace, of harmony, of wholeness, that is absolutely available to us through our connection with that infinite allness. And we know and hold that not only for ourselves in this moment, but for all of those who are experiencing loss and suffering, wherever they are in the world. And that we hold them tenderly and know that there is a resolution, that there is a movement forward that allows a greater expression of wholeness, of oneness, and of truth. And I also know that this time together is blessed, that we are blessed by the talk by Reverend Mitch. We're blessed by the service of everyone who is volunteering to hold this container of the Sierra Center for us this morning, and that we are all blessed by being together in community and holding that high vision for the highest outcome and the highest good for all. And so I just give thanks for this blessing, for this good that I know is unfolding. As I release my word into the law of life itself, knowing that the law responds by corresponding to this energy of love, of wholeness, of goodness, and makes it so. And we affirm this together as we say, and so it is. Now we have another song from Billy Bensing.
All right, get your reggae shoes on. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds perched on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melody pure and true. Singing, this is my message for you. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. message for you. Oh, don't worry about a thing. Everybody now. Every little thing is gonna be alright, even in LA. Don't worry about a thing. Well, you know every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh, don't worry about a thing. Oh, every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh yeah, don't worry about a thing. Oh yeah, every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh, every little thing is gonna be alright. All right, we had a little dancing going out there. Oh, mama. Thank you.
Can we give it up again for Billy Bensing? You know, Billy filled in for us last second this Sunday, and I just want to thank you for saying yes and stepping in quickly. So
Thank you. Yes, I can do it.
we appreciate it. We appreciate it. So happy Sunday, everyone. Turn to somebody and say, glad you came today. Let's greet each other. Glad you came today. Glad you came today. Ah. Yeah, we couldn't have all this joy in the room, so. So I do want to say the Centers for Spiritual Living that we're a part of just sent out some information about how we can support the people who are struggling in LA. So if you're on our mailing list, I'm going to send that to you as well, so that if you want to support, and they've vetted many of these places that you can contribute. If you're not on our mailing list, feel free to just put your name and email address there, and then you'll always know all the wonderful things that are going on here at the center. So the Candelera, you don't want to miss it. Those tamales. Last week we did the La Rosca de Reyes. We did the whole ring with the baby Jesus that represents the inner Christ. We had 28 people here. It was amazing, wasn't it? For the people that came. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. And the tamales are so good. Speaking of which, you don't want to miss Dr. John Mayfield, who came here today. We met on Facebook, and he was very kind and short, but he is going to be talking about the 5 elements of Chinese medicine and some of the roles that the organs play and how they're connected to our consciousness. So I was really excited when John said yes, that he would come talk about this just before we do today's healing circle, because I think they go together well. So our theme, again, this month is stretching into possibility. We're going back to basics with Science of Mind and Ernest Holmes. And if you want to know the basics, don't let this big fat book intimidate you. It intimidated me the first time I saw it. Really, what we're talking about, the core of Science of Mind, are these first 4 chapters. And you can get the book, of course, online on Amazon. But if you want to leave here with it today, we have 2 copies up on that shelf. And with tax and everything, it's about $28. So you could just grab one of those, and that first 4 chapters get a sense of what our basics is and what we teach here. So last Sunday, we talked about how God's nature is our nature. God's nature is our nature. And that the attributes of God are all loving essence, all intelligent, knows everything there is to know, and all powerful, right? Powering the sun, moving the planets, beating all 7 billion hearts on the planet, and not efforting at all. There's no heart in God, right? That's a human concept. And so today we're going to take it one step further, this God nature that we are. And remember the analogy I used, it's like God's an ocean and we're a wave in the ocean. We contain all the properties that the ocean contains, but we're not all of God. We're going to talk about how to use those properties today. And I want to go to Ernest Holmes and this quote right now just to get us centered on where we're going with today's talk. The science of mind is the study of first cause, spirit, mind, or the invisible essence. That ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes. It's the power back of all creation. First cause. And what we mean by first cause, the fountainhead where everything starts. See, sometimes we get confused in the world and we think some things are our source. Like I know that I have prayed with people for over a decade now, and sometimes people will come to me and they'll say, I'm really worried about my job. I might get laid off. And then they want to pray to keep the job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But their job is not their source of their good. The source of good that brought them that job is first cause, is spirit, is divine, God, the presence, the intelligence, the love, and the power. And so we're going to unpack that creative process so that we can get in our spirit this first cause essence of what is contained in our own little God wave. We're all little God wave. So the title of today's talk is The Way It Works. Remember Ernest Holmes called God the thing itself to divorce us from a human type figure of the presence. It's an essence, a presence, an energy. It's beyond just our image. So we're going to talk about co-creating with the thing itself. Ernest Holmes, in a Science of Mind magazine post in 1972, said, think of yourself as in partnership with this divine presence and its creative law. Learn to trust this presence, another word for God, spirit, the thing itself. Trust this presence as you would trust the simple fact that you are living. You know how many things have to go right for you to get out of bed this morning, right? You didn't breathe yourself, you didn't beat your heart all night, right? This is the stuff that is already working for you from this presence. Do not be afraid to throw yourself in complete abandonment and with perfect acceptance into its soft embrace, for it is closer to you than your very breath, nearer to you than your hands and feet. It is right where you are, without anything changing out there, yes? So I want you to imagine right now this senior partner wants to go into business with you. Can you imagine that? This senior partner that has all the good intention, that knows you better than you know yourself. Anybody ever work with somebody and they were like the other half of you and they could anticipate like, oh, you're going to forget this, or oh, for me, that's my beloved Karen. So grateful for her, right? But we already have that partner that's going out before us and giving us the experiences, resources that we need. And anything we don't have, it has. The skills, the answers, the how, the money, the resources. So just imagine that you went into business or you went into whatever your passion project is with this presence. Is there a dream or an activity you wouldn't try? That you wouldn't go for? Right? When you have that kind of thinking, you don't talk yourself out of it, because we go to the who am I, right? I'm too what? What are some of the twos? I'm too tired. I'm too what? Old. I'm too old. I'm too different. Right? I'm a procrastinator. Or we go to the little hats we got. I'm a procrastinator. Or I'm not right. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not, right? So that's the thinking of the world. And where we're going to is a higher order of thinking, this partnership with this energy. You know who partnered with this energy to create a multi-million-dollar business, literally partnered with God? May McCarthy. Who's heard of May McCarthy? She wrote a book, Path to Wealth. She literally created a position in her company called Chief Spiritual Officer. That's the title she gave to God. to spirit. And every morning she would start her day with a business meeting with her CSO. And what's interesting, if you read the book, Path to Wealth, she gives testimony about what the activity was with her CSO to show up in moments where she didn't know what to do. She didn't know where to go. Or all of a sudden that thing she needed showed up. Or that divine inspired thought dropped in and it was right and it took her right where she needed to go. That's the kind of partnership you have in your life right now for anything. Anything, any condition you want to shift, any experience you want to have in this journey of life. Now, we also talked about us as God waves, and the triune nature of the presence, spirit, divine, is a creator. We're creators. We are always creating, whether we want to or not. And that we are also the activity of creation, and we're the creation. That's the three parts of the divine. And so the act of manifestation, the way it works, also has three parts. The first part is thought. Thought is created. Everything was a thought before it was a thing. Everything. That chair, somebody had to design that chair in thought before it became a thing. This spiritual community was a thought in the group of mind of people before it became this. So it starts with the thought. We could call it the word. The Bible calls it the Father. We call it a seed as an analogy that we'll go through. And then this thought, this word, this idea drops into a field, an atmosphere where it gets worked on. The impress is what we call it in science of mind, the impress of thought into substance, a container, a mold, right? So just like that chair was designed, somebody actually created a mold of it on paper or somewhere to be filled into, to become a thing. We do that. I call it the workshop of the imagination, right? We dream it up. We work on it in our minds. In Christianity, they call this spooky activity that's moving things around, you put it in there. They call it the Holy Ghost because it's something invisible running around, doing things for us, setting up the conditions, bringing in the people. We also call it soil as an analogy. And then the last part is the manifestation, the effect, the outcome, right? In the Bible, they call it the Son, right? The Son, which is born from the Father, right? The creation. Or here we could also call it the plant. So we're going to go into a little graphic. I have a graphic for you today. I really worked hard on this one. So the first one here is first cause. So again, first cause, your conscious mind. In the Vedas, they call it Brahman, which is the creator. Christianity, the Father. And Ernest Holmes, he did a lot of study of the Bible as a metaphysical handbook, but he also loved the Vedas. He would travel to India. See, so as I do this, I want you to kind of know where this thought system came from in his process so that we can kind of track with the mind of Ernest Holmes. In metaphysics, they call it energy. A lot of times we call it energy, right? And metaphorically speaking, in science of mind, we like to use seed, soil, plant to talk about how it works. So the seed that you see right here in the red circle, that seed is the thought. And the thought is complete. That seed has everything it needs to become manifest. It is pure potential for the exact thing that dropped in. That thought, that inspired idea, that direction, whatever it is. And then it goes into something called the soil. So we went from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. So it goes into a dark place. See how the soil, we don't see the seed now. It went in. You just impressed your thought, your request, your desire into a place you can't see what's going on there, right? Any gardeners in the room? Yeah. So you put the seed in the soil and you trust that there's activity going on here. There's an alchemy of the minerals and the nutrients and the water that is magically unpacking what's in that seed. Now, do you go in there and dig up the seed and go, is it doing the right thing yet? No. But don't we do that sometimes with things that we want to call in? It isn't happening yet. Maybe I should try something different. We don't give it a chance. We don't give it a chance, right? So, Shiva, Holy Ghost, Shiva is the destroyer. This has got to break apart, right? This has got to transform and change for what is inside to fully come into view. So sometimes there's things in our subconscious that are breaking apart, reshaping, doing us, and we're going to talk about that in another talk. It's called chemicalization, so that we can have the manifestation. And then lastly, we get the plant. We get the effect. I love sunflowers. That's why I put that there. Sunflowers, right? We get the effect, the manifestation. Vishnu is the preserved whatever form it is. It's the preserved solid form. Of course, the sun comes from the Father, right? It's the manifestation. We would call it vibration here from a physics point of view, that the atoms in that chair have to vibrate at a certain frequency for it to show up as metal and material and all. This is the manifestation, or the plant that shows up in our lives. So that's the threefold way of how it works. So I want to give you an example. Who's heard of Vera Wang? Anybody? Great dress designer. Yeah, all the women's hands went up. Great dress designer. So Vera Wang had a very successful career in journalism and fashion. She did a lot of editing. And at the age of 40, she decided to start her own bridal fashion line. And she just felt inspired to create it. Now, she had no formal experience designing dresses. Now, for a lot of us, that would have just stopped us right there. Like, who am I? I don't know how to do that. But it didn't stop Vera. She had that seed to do this. And in that seed was everything she needed, and it went into the soil. And so she worked with her soil, and she visualized herself as a leader in the bridal industry. She trusted her instincts, her divine direction, her intuition. She began sketching designs. She was taking risks with bold ideas, challenging traditional wedding dress market. And then what happened? Her first bridal collection debuted, and it debuted to critical acclaim and became the most sought after bridal designs in the world. Right? Seed, soil, and plant. Great example of that. And what we need to know is that the real work is done in here. That's the real work, in the subconscious. And if we have good soil, right, my gardeners, what happens when you have good soil? You have a really robust plant. But if you don't have such good soil, not such a great plant. We might also think the collective that's in this soil is our mental equivalent. Ernest Holmes says, first, before this activity can come of manifestation, there must be something that corresponds to the thing that you want. And that you must have a mental equivalent. You must have soil that can support this to sprout up. Because if something is missing in here, a mineral, a nutrient, it might not ever see the light of day. The same is true with our own mental atmosphere, right? You ever meet somebody who has like a really low mental atmosphere, is really negative, and you meet them, can you feel it right away? Like the energy, that has a vibration. And whatever that vibration is, only things that are a match or mental equivalent can come into that person's experience. So our mental atmosphere, our mental equivalent, our soil is critical. And that's why I'm so passionate about community. Who felt their mental atmosphere go up when Billy was singing? Right? You feel your own expansion. How do you feel when you're here and you're hugging people and you're connecting and you're smiling? We're building, we're conditioning the soil. That's why I'm so passionate about community. We're better together. You can do this alone, but it's so much better together. So the quality of your soil counts. So if you have optimal soil, so if you have soil in here that has no resistance to this manifesting, boom, it happens. I have an example. Want to hear it? I call it steaks at the door. Sorry, vegans. Yeah, baby, I know you love this. Funny joke, we're really opposite, but we're one. I was out one day, and I was a big barbecuer at the time, and it was a nice day, and I thought, I really want a steak. And it was one of those that dropped in that I could see it and almost taste it, and my mouth was watering, that kind of clarity. And so I went to Rayleigh's, and I was looking at the steaks, and I'm like, God, they've gotten really expensive. Now, I didn't say, I can't have it, it's too expensive. This is important. I just said, I'll pick some hamburger. So I didn't deny myself the steaks. I didn't tell myself a negative story. It's very important. I just said, I'll get some hamburger. So there I am, I'm at home. I'm literally opening the package of the hamburger, and I hear knock, knock, knock. I open the door, and my neighbor is standing there with arms full of frozen gourmet steaks that you can't even get in the grocery store, saying, we just really appreciate you helping out. And I'm looking at him thunderstruck. I'm like, thank you. But my soil was in alignment. My vibration was in alignment. The workshop of the imagination, I could see it, I could taste it, and I didn't cut myself off from possibility when I was looking at those prices, because sometimes we do that, don't we? So I was fully receptive, my soil was good, and boom, those steaks came in. They were good. So that's what we would call optimal soil. There's nothing in there to compete with its manifestation. The other type of soil, and these are all my terms, by the way, just to help us understand soil a little more granularly, is what I would call mixed soil. So there's some resistance in there. We haven't quite become a vibrational match to it, and we need to work with it. Because gardeners, don't you need to work with your soil sometimes? Sometimes you're loosening it up. Sometimes you're giving it something to be supportive of. So we need to do that in our consciousness as well. So I remember when I was in Parks and Rec, I'd worked with a lot of consultants. And I always dreamed of having a consultant role. It seems like they just got to make their own schedules, work on their own projects, get paid really well. And I remember thinking about this, dreaming into it. And then I ended up leaving my salary job, and I was in between jobs, and then my savings was starting to run out, so you know what we do, panic. And I was panicking, and I was applying for all these jobs, and I didn't really want to do those jobs. What I really wanted to do is this, right? But I needed food on the table and roof over the head, so I applied for these jobs, and I had an incredible resume. Managed $24 million budget, all of these departments, and I applied for a little Parks and Rec place, and I'd made it through to the second round, and they were doing, reference checks. They don't do that unless they're going to hire you, and I thought, I got this in the bag. And then I wasn't hearing from him. And then I heard from him, and they said, we're not going to hire you. I was devastated. And I remember I was walking up at the levee up in Sacramento thinking, and how is this God? Where's God in this? Where's good in this? And I was taking foundations at the time. And I knew enough at this point to know that something else was at work, something in the unseen. And so I talked to God. I talked to Spirit and said, okay, I trust you. I turn it over. I release my attachment, because I had fingers down the, door. I released my attachment to my good coming up as this job, which I really didn't want. My heart knew it didn't want it, right? Because Spirit's always hearing our heart. Even if our mind wants to turn it off, Spirit hears this. And here's what happened. So I'm up on the levee. I turn it over to my senior partner. The very next morning, I get an email from a job I had responded to on monster.com about 2 months ago. I'd forgotten about it. And it was to be a contractor for a Parks and Rec department part-time. So I came in, and it didn't pay the amount I thought a consultant or contractor should get. It was like $35 an hour, but I took it. Then they bought out my contract, brought me on as an employee part-time. Then I had to cash out that part-time employee, the savings, the retirement, because needed a procedure. I didn't have any. So I quit the job, and then they took me on as a contract directly, and they doubled my pay to 70. And when I was dreaming back in those days before I quit the job, guess what my hourly rate was in my head? $70 an hour. Not only that, the city I worked for, I could pick my own schedule. I could pick the own projects that I worked to, and I was pretty much my own boss. And they loved me. It was great. But I had to, do you see how to work with the soil? It didn't come right in. I only had enough equivalent for 35. But I kept visualizing. I kept with it. I knew I could get there. And then my consciousness grew a little more, and my confidence grew a little more, and then it came in. So sometimes we get a result, that isn't quite it. We need to keep working with our soil. We need to keep working with our consciousness and listening to our heart. The last kind of soil I'm going to talk about is a little bit harder soil. It's not as receptive. It's hard to even get the seed in there. And this is when we have some really heavy cemented beliefs, trauma. I have a friend, of course I keep everything anonymous, and I change all the people, by the way, but the story is true, who every time he got something nice, something would happen. Like he got a brand new iPad he could never afford, and it broke in 2 weeks. He got a really expensive wallet that was really top of the line, and somebody stole it. And his nice shoes, that he had never had shoes this nice, that were like $200, guess who ate them? The dog. And I pointed out to him one day, I said, you ever notice how everything nice leaves you? Right? There's a pattern, and when we start to see these patterns, something's going on with the soil. There was something in his consciousness, his soil didn't believe he was worthy, that a good thing could stay. See, we can manifest things for a second, but we want it to stay, don't we? That's why lottery winners oftentimes all their money goes, because their soil hasn't been cultivated to hold that level of abundance, right? So our consciousness is like a thermostat. We have so much bad we'll take before we bring things up. And there's so much good that we'll take until we bring it down. So there's a range, and that lives in your soil, right? So, and this just happens in the subconscious. That part we can't really directly touch, but we can see what's going on because of what's out picturing in our lives. So you want some soil conditioners? Who wants soil conditioners? Have I sold the soil yet? Okay, good. Good. The first one I want to invite you to work with is what I call the workshop of the imagination. You know, Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge. I think he knew something. You know, he was studying quantum physics at that time as well. So this is where we dream in to possibility, and we picture ourselves there, or we taste the steak before we eat it, right? That's what I was doing. Another soil conditioner, most powerful soil conditioner I can think of. Want to know what it is? What do you think it is? Gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. And it's the easiest one, because gratitude is always just the thought away. No matter what condition you're going through, you can always find something to be grateful for, which will raise your vibration, your frequency, so you can be a match to something better in your experience. Another one is affirmations. Years ago, I got really sick. Doctors couldn't diagnose what's going on. And so I'd used all my human tools to try and figure it out, go to a doctor, write all the solutions and thinking of the world. And now I had to go to a different solution, a different way, a different paradigm, which was God, Spirit. I partnered with God to heal it. And I used an affirmation. I said, I am happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and strong. And I would walk, I could only walk like 15 feet. I get out of breath, but I'd use my affirmation. I'd remember the truth, and I'd work on that soil. And then the book came. Then the health tip came. Then the education came. I wouldn't be here. I thought I was going down the tubes or having to go on disability. But I went to a solution higher than the level of effects because God is all there is, all intelligent, all powerful, all loving. That presence knows how to help me. And that's why I love teaching this, because you all have another place to go to when all that independent, worldly, I think I know stuff doesn't work anymore. There's another place to go to. And I encourage you to work with our ministers and our practitioners. We do something called a practitioner session. It's about an hour or so long. And we get in the soil with you. And we look at spiritual laws. And we help you recondition the soil so you get a different effect. And if you're a member here, it's actually written into my contract that you get one free session with me. I'm pretty good, I have to say. I have a lot of good demonstrations. So please call, ring the phone off the hook, book yourself. I would be honored to sit with you and help you condition your soil. So let us remember that a piece of the Most High love, the Most High intelligence, the Most High power is always living and active within you, and you are endowed with the same power as the Creator. We are in partnership with the presence that wants us to have our heart's desire. That desire is actually the desire of God, because there's no spot that God is not. So you already have the best partner you could ever hope for. And remember that your seed, your inspired idea, that's a gift. And it's a gift to all of us. What if Vera never designed those dresses? How many brides would have not felt like they were shining their radiant selves? What if that small group that started following Science of Mind had never dreamed into existence a center and a community where we could all come? What seed have you been given? That seed that needs to bloom not only for us, but for you, to feel the richness of your being in this life. I want to end with this quote from Donna Markova. She wrote a book. I will not die an unlived life, reclaiming purpose and passion, she says. I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make less afraid and more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance to live so that which came to me as a seed goes on to the next as a blossom. And that which came to me as a blossom, a fruit. Blessed be. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you will please stand, and we will do our affirmation. I will read it once, and then we will read it together. I am willing to surrender my good enough for a greater yet to be. Together. I am willing to surrender my good enough for a greater yet to be. And so it is. If you will please take your gift in your hand. This is our time of conscious giving. And we have a QR code that'll come up after this if you'd like to give electronically. And go ahead and put it on your heart. And let us recite together. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And go ahead and have a seat, and Pat will go ahead and circulate the basket as Billy gives us another wonderful song. Take it away, Billy.
Get my little volume up here. This is a song I wrote in my early 20s about being myself, and I was trying to figure out who am I, and how do I fit into this world, and what's my music all about? And people were telling me, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to sound like this, you got to do the style. So I wrote a song called Image about being myself. It goes like this.
Everybody says I need an image. Play the role and you'll be on your way. Can I just be myself? I'm just no good as someone else. I know I never make it that way. I've been running around in great big circles, always going up just to come down. But I guess I just keep hanging on, singing all my old love songs, and surely someday I find a way. Hey, na 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 na. Well, everybody's got advice, what to do and what is right, but they'll take my reality as to hear that I used to see and run me like a puppet on a string. But Lord, I wish they'd let me be, get off my back and let me free. I'd rather do or die on my own. Hey, let me take you walking by a river, breezing through a sunny afternoon, where we can do as we like, stay until the stars are bright, sleep beneath the blanket of the moon. Hey, 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 na 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 na. Well, everybody's got advice, what to do and what is right. They'll take my reality as dear that I used to see and run me like a puppet on a string. Lord, I wish they'd let me be, get off my back and let me be. I'd rather do or die on my own. Well, everybody says I need an image. Play the role and you'll be on your way. But can I just be myself? I'm just no good as someone else. I know I never make it that way.
So I just speak a word from first cause into soil for the energy of these gifts that have been given, knowing that they continue this work of the Most High Spirit, one that is loving, one that is intelligent, one that is power-filled for all good, all healing of the planet, and for the expansion and nourishment of this center. And so I just give thanks. I give thanks for these gifts. I give thanks for this beautiful time together and what is yet to come. I release this word, and together we say, and so it is. And so it is. All right, so I'm going to do some thank yous. Thank you to Pat and Carol for ushering. Yes, let's give them a hand. Deborah, our candle lighter. Carol for doing announcements. We have Diana and Chana on live streaming, and then our own Maya doing the sound. Also, I want to thank Reverend Lanny for that beautiful reading and prayer. Yes. Let's also give it up to Karen, first time hosting on the platform today here. And last but not least, well, not last, let's give it up for Jerry Lynn, too, working with our kids in the back. And Billy Benson. So what are you taking with you today? What are you taking with you today? Joy. Good soil. Soil. Gratitude. release. Beautiful. Wonderful. Inspiration. Thank you. You gave it to me. Courage to grow. It does take courage, doesn't it? Do things differently. Beautiful. So if you will please stand, we will do our benediction. Just repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It's this thing called first cause. It's this thing called first cause. It's this thing called good soil. It's this thing called my heart's manifestation. It's this thing called my heart's manifestation. I know it. I know it. I feel it. I feel it. I sense it. I sense it. Because I am it. Because I am it. And so it is. So please stand as we complete our closing song. Take it away, Billy.
New reggae.
I release and I let go. I feel my spirit from my life. My heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. My head in the spirit. 'Cause I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. If the spirit of my life, my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. All right.
So we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and then Dr. John will start his talk right up here, and then we'll do the healing circle shortly after. All right? So don't go away. We have coffee and tea in the kitchen. Help yourself.